Senator Elliott,
Here.
Senator Hovey, Senator Jones,
Here.
Senator Livingston, Senator Price,
Here.
Senator Sessions, Senator Singleton, Senator Smitherman, Senator Stewart.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate your attention here today. Let me, committee, go ahead and kind of tell you where we are and where you will understand as you start looking through things, and maybe we'll eliminate some of your questions. We have 3 bills on the agenda today. We have 2 public hearings. The third bill, that is Senator Singleton's, we will not be voting that bill today. We will just be doing a public hearing. You do have, that is, we're going to say hot off the press, a substitute. And the reason you have that substitute in front of you to give you a chance to familiarize yourself with it. So I ask you to take that with you. That way you cannot say that you did not get a copy. There is one typographical error that I have been told that is in there. Mr. Stewart will be talking to us here in a few minutes when we get to that bill, and he will bring you up to speed as far as that's concerned. Any questions concerning that? Yes. And so, without any question, go ahead and call the first bill.
SB 90 by Senator Singleton.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, if I can indulge here, or you want me to go out front?
No, sir, you're fine right where you are.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a local bill that I've had for the last 3 years. It's been voted out of this committee for the last 3 years based on the Greene County Racing Commission. Greene County Racing Commission has been, for simulcasting and pari-mutuel, has been in business since 1973. It's been legal in the state of Alabama, has always operated in the state of Alabama, and we've always called them the dog tracks. And so what we're doing now is just updating this statute. We're updating the statute. There's a lot of organizations that we were giving a lot of money to as a result of the benefits from the product. Some of those organizations are no longer in business anymore. Some are fade away. We're updating the statute, adding more money to the hospitals, to the school systems to make sure that we're being charitable in the community. This also set fees for licenses, and it basically set some terms in terms of what the commission can and cannot do based on who they can give a license to. That's the basis of what it does.
Move favorable.
Mr. Chairman.
One minute before we get started. We do have an amendment. Is that correct?
I'd like to offer the
Yes.
amendment.
Yes.
Okay, go
We
ahead,
accept it
sir.
as a friendly amendment.
You offering the amendment?
Yes.
And the amendment is just a
It's just a
typo
typo.
that's in the bill.
Yeah.
Instead of American, it should be America.
Yes. Senator, go ahead.
You referring to the Gulf?
No, not this time. Not this time. Not this time. It's an industrial park.
Mr. Chairman, I have a procedural question. The first page of this says it's referred to local legislation. Is this a local bill?
Yes, a local bill. It has to go, under Rule 50, it has to go through local legislation, then it has to come to tourism, and then go back.
I'm going to pretend like I knew that, but just ask that question so that the viewers at home
I got you,
know.
understand.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, we have the second. Go ahead, sir. I recognize
No,
you.
let's get the amendment on, then I'll make comment.
Okay. Let's just voice vote the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Amendment passes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Senator, I like your bill. I'm going to support it, okay? Both here and on the floor. A couple of questions I might add for clarification, because yes, you've been in business since 1973 working under another local CA, and this is simply updating that, correct?
Correct.
Now, there's another, how's this in related to the Crystal Palace? Is that also in Greene County? Is that the new?
The palace? Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Is that a part of this also, or is that different?
Well, no, it's not so much different. The Racing Commission basically has given a license to the palace to operate pari-mutuel in the county.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So the Palace now is the operating
Yes,
entity.
not Green Track anymore.
Not Green Track anymore.
Right.
Okay, and the Palace is the one that's It's a new facility, isn't it?
Yeah,
About a year or
relatively
two.
new, yes. Within 10 years or so, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, I've been a proponent of trying to get gaming controlled in Alabama and been struggling to make that happen. And this is the only way that Alabama has been able to achieve that is through this. This, if we pass this, this will be what, number 19 local CAs we've got in Alabama?
Well, this is not a CA here. However, this is a statute upgrading a CA that's already out there.
Okay, but we have CAs. That's how the basis
Correct.
is. You've got
Right.
CAs set aside the statewide Section 65 to allow the county or that entity to accomplish something.
Correct.
Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe every other county, at least every other county, has the ability to do the same thing.
They do, yes.
Okay, which is to come in with the local legislation to move in and to initiate some type of gambling or gaming, as whichever way you call it, right?
Correct.
Do you, I hope you understand that should I get the overall bill done, that's going to set aside all this.
I'm very clear on that.
Okay.
I'm very clear on that.
All right, and it would also prevent any further counties from having that ability to come in.
Very clear on that.
Okay. I've given you a copy of the draft that I'm trying to find a path to get 21 votes on so I can
Yes.
file the silly thing, but I'm looking at a way to be able to put the state in charge of this matter. Is there a state taxes that come in from Green Track on any of this?
Yes, state does get taxes on this, yes.
Okay. That's what type? Sales taxes or what? Property taxes?
Sales taxes off this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which they would get from any other entity with
Yes.
this. Now, I guess what I'm getting to here.
And they will get a tax off the revenue off the play. I think it's like a percentage that goes in the pari-mutuel tax that comes back to the
Fair
state.
mutual thing.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm getting to here is that we're not doing anything unusual with this.
No.
And we're not breaking any new ground in on this.
No, we're not.
At all.
No.
And in fact, if anything, if anybody else wanted to do this in the state, county, or whatever, or I suppose maybe even a city or something could do a local CA to begin and do the same type operation.
They could.
Is that right?
Correct.
The only thing is they got to bring it to us to get the vote.
Yes.
And with that CA, they've got to get a vote along that line too.
Correct.
On a local bill under a CA, does it need 21 votes also?
Yes, it does.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
But in most cases, they've been able to achieve that, right?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
And most of them are just paper bingo. Most of those CAs that are out there.
Yeah.
And I think it's just been the ones that with electronic trying to get electronic is where we've had the problems.
Yeah, trying to get the electronic.
Yes.
And then there's some that have initiated the electronic even though they think they may not be able to do that or something along that line.
Yes.
Okay. My purpose I want to draw here today is I hope that someday soon, in the near future, possibly, being here in this committee with a state overall bill that will solve this problem for the state overall.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Okay. Well, between you and me, we need 19 more.
Got you. Right now, I don't need 21 on this, though.
I understand.
I just need a simple majority.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Got a favorable second. Okay, let's voice. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill receives a favorable report.
Thank you,
On the
Mr.
next
Chairman.
bill.
Thank you, committee.
SB 255 by Senator Smitherman.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
may I stay in this position or you need me to be at that matter? All right, thank you. Under existing law, products that contain cannabis found in or derived from hemp may not be sold to minors, but are otherwise not regulated. This bill would regulate the sale of products containing cannabis found in or derived from hemp, defined as novel cannabis products. This bill would require the Department of Revenue to license and regulate retailers of novel cannabis products. This bill would prohibit any business that sells or serves alcohol beverages from obtaining a license. This bill would require the Department of Agriculture and Industry to approve testing and labeling requirements that each retailer must undergo before selling any given novel cannabis product. This bill would levy a tax of 6% on the sales price of all novel cannabis products. This bill would also create the Novel Cannabis Safety Fund and require all license fees, civil penalties, and tax proceeds be deposited into this fund and used to administer this act and other protect the public from unregulated cannabis products. That is our bill in essence, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. We'll now go into the public hearing. Ms. Lewis will be calling you up, and you have 3 minutes.
Luke Garner.
Can she?
Welcome.
Senators, thank you for your time today.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm Luke Garner, CEO and founder of Easy Hemp Co., a hemp beverage company operating legally under current law. We serve thousands of Alabamians and are concerned about the proposed legislation limiting the sale of our products. We fully believe and support responsible regulation that can coexist with their continued business and operations like ours. Our agreements and solutions: strict age verification. We support tough ID checks and propose a 3 strikes rule. Any businesses caught selling to minors loses its license. Transparency in testing. We back comprehensive testing and clear labeling for consumer safety. Consistency and safety is paramount in these products. THC limits. We agree on reasonable THC caps to promote responsible consumption. Who are we and what are we offering? Our products are in 500 locations statewide, including Piggly Wiggly's, the Orion Amphitheater, Grand Bohemian Hotel of Mountain Brook, and various James Beard award-winning restaurants like Automatic Seafood, further proving their appeal to discerning adults in respective venues. Our best-selling customers: women 35 to 45, soccer moms looking for a responsible alternative to alcohol drinks at the end of the day. Our beverages contain only real fruit, mineral water, and hemp extract. No added sugar, artificial sweeteners, colors, or dyes. The effect of our low-dose products are comparable to a small glass of wine or a domestic beer. Mild and enjoyable, not excessive. The impact of proposed law. The impact of proposed law limiting sales to a handful of establishments would slash our distribution and our sales by 95%, threatening jobs in an industry-leading local business like ours. Our ask: we respectfully request an amendment allowing us to continue to sell our products to adults in grocery stores, restaurants, country clubs, specialty venues where our customers are already responsibly enjoying them. I'd like to leave you with a testimonial sent to our website today. This was written by a customer named Bailey of Brookwood, Alabama. I was in Brookwood relaxing with my grandma, and she grabbed us 2 drinks from her outside fridge. My grandma said that she was out at lunch with her husband the day prior. They each had one together at the table. She explained they instantly fell in love with the beverages and purchased a 4-pack shortly after. So there she was, sharing her last 2 cans with me. We sipped them together. It was incredibly refreshing. And I must inform y'all, we'll be making it a regular occurrence to sit outside on the porch, enjoying an easy together. Thank you. Thank you all for making this product perfect for everybody to drink. Thanks for your time and consideration today.
Thank you, and thank you again for being here. Yes, go. Can we ask a question, please?
Mr. Garner.
Mr. Garner.
So sorry to ask you to come back. You're Easy Hemp Co. sounds like it's primarily beverages, liquid.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And the way it's being used now in restaurants, and it sounds like you're asking to be treated in this amendment different than a consumable.
That's correct.
Is that for any particular reason? I mean, I know we're talking about all hemp, all products derived from hemp, but you're asking to be treated differently. I'm just wondering why that.
No, that's right. That's a good question. Really, we're asking to be treated just like a beer and wine.
Right.
Really, it's a science question, I think, ultimately, when you boil it down. The way that these water-soluble products, like a beverage, metabolize, you start to feel the effects much faster. I'm sure you guys have all heard the scary stories about an edible that kicked in, and 4 or 5 hours later, someone has overindulged and is, in digress. But these products allow you to almost kind of self-regulate and control the effects. If you're starting to feel uncomfortable, you can stop and you can drink a glass of water, and about 45 minutes later, you're going to feel normal. So I think there's a distinction between these products and edibles and the effects just by the way it's being metabolized in your body.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Andrew Versiglio.
That was very good. Thank you all for having us here today to talk to you about this, and thank you, Senator Smitherman, for bringing it to the forefront and taking the initiative to put this bill together. So I am Andrew Versiglio. I can only speak about what I know, so I'm not too polished up here, but I work with the 13 Piggly Wiggly locations across Birmingham, Alabama, 12 in Jefferson County, and 1 in Shelby County. And we began selling liquid-based RTD hemp THC-infused product last February, beginning with Easy Hemp Co. Due to customer demand. We, for about a year or so, were hesitant to bring it in, but after enough customers had asked us for it, we decided to start small, try it, and now we've grown our portfolio from about 4 SKUs to anywhere between 60 to 80 across multiple stores. Where we are right now with it is we self-regulate the product, because we do agree that there needs to be regulation within the product itself. We create a 21 and over tag by putting it in our beer department as it exists right now. This helps us for a few reasons. It automatically, at the register, tags a 21 and over question queue for our cashiers at the register to make sure that they ID the customer before we then sell it to them. It also allows our customers to begin to educate themselves on the product and knowing that it is intoxicating. Like I said, we do agree there needs to be regulation for the product itself. And, we agree with the bill. Unfortunately, with the way it's written right now, it would prohibit us and other grocery retailers of selling the product, which we have many customers coming in to be able to buy it right now and asking for it. There have been, for years and years and years, legislators like yourself have listened to the public, and I appreciate you all doing that right now and seeing the demand for the product. You've continued to create legislation and set parameters for intoxicating drinks from, wet counties and removing that, designation to creating the craft beer law about 15 years ago with ABV being a big part of that. And now diving into this, and throughout the entire process, my family being 4th generation grocers from Western supermarkets and now Piggly Wigglies have been responsible vendors under all parameters that are set forth. Again, we ask from you all that you allow us to help you responsibly sell this product as well and not exclude us. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Before you step away, any questions? Thank you again for your time.
Okay, I think I have another name, Wynn Prescott. Is that a perfect?
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I'd like to start. I'm Wynn Prescott. I'm here on behalf of the Petroleum and Convenience Marketers of Alabama, and we are here for the convenience store industry is what I'm representing. And like you all, I have a similar at my hometown. I'm an elected official on the city council, so I do understand how tough your jobs can be at times, and with limited information and the hard decisions. So I do want to just pay homage to that. On behalf of the bill in front of you, just to piggyback off what Andrew just mentioned, where they're considered in our industry a big box store, and we're considered the small store, right, in the convenience store from a retailer standpoint. And just like he mentioned, from our perspective, with the way the bill is written, we like a large part of it, but it doesn't enable us to sell the product. And two, we have regulations in place that we have already in place, age restrictions, and we support like the limiting on the alcohol and all these different things that go in these standards that we have to go by, because we already operate underneath the ABC license, right? So we have to adhere to all those regulations. We're fined. If not, and you lose your license, you're out of business. So there's already that establishment. We already have a great relationship with that. So all we're asking is for just to reconsider the way the language is, right? And give us the opportunity, as again, just to mention, piggyback off what Andrew spoke about, is, it's consumer demand, right? We live in a place where we have to provide, meet our customers' demand, right? So convenience stores are probably the largest retails in the state of Alabama. And with all the transactions, and everybody pulls on our parking lot to get gas, to get food, cigarettes, beer, sodas, everything. And this would just hurt our customer base and revenue and make it harder for them to get their product. And so we're here on behalf is just to reconsider the language in it and help, us be able to sell the product. So thank you for your time. Is there any questions?
Question? Thank you. Appreciate it. And so, that's it. Senator Smitherman?
Yes, there's two.
Yes, sir. That's on the next bill. Yes, sir.
I think he signed on the wrong bill, on the other
Okay.
For yours.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was it, sir?
John Parker.
John Parker?
The other one. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Come ahead, John.
Good afternoon. I'm John Parker. I've been in this industry since Carly's bill was passed. I actually went to both the votes. I was involved with SB 66 to regulate. And we need regulation in this. And I support this bill because it addresses this. And there should be some changes to it. I appreciate what Mr. Garner and Mr. Versiglio said, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to be responsible vendors. And the concerns of the opposition and the concerns of us are the same. We need to keep this safe and healthy and out of kids' hands. And you do that by following proven fact-based data that shows that a black market doesn't grow. And there's evidence from research from Indiana University saying it decreases with heavy marijuana legalization. It decreases teen drug use all around. You'll hear these sweeping generalization studies about how it increases the black market, but the increases of those black markets is because policies within legalization or regulation rather creates it. Super high taxes, barriers to entry for and other various forms that raise it. So we have picked out the successful programs, and we don't want kids to see this at all. That's y'all's concern, right? And the prohibition, it didn't work with alcohol. It don't work ever, right? It just doesn't. So instead of the hundreds of thousands of users of hemp, a milder hemp, they're going to go to illegal drug users, and with this, the largest commodity for a drug user, it's going to empower them, give them more territory, and that's how you get introduced to drugs. I'm here for 7 dead friends that were young and dumb and bought some marijuana, and then were introduced to opiates that caused them to get on heroin. So when you prohibit this, it goes against everything the opposing bills are trying to do. This is the solution everyone wants. And Yeah, I'm passionate about it, and I would love to have some questions.
Any questions? Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to work with everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. Senator Smitherman, let me say this, and I'd like to turn it back over to you for any closing comments before we vote. So, we all understand that all you got to do is look around as far as in the Senate and the House and the bills that are addressing products and similar products to this. It is a very much a concern of every legislature here today. At the same time, I commend you for bringing this bill, and we all understand that we must address this issue. What I would like to do today is to see this bill being voted out to where it can stay alive and continue to be discussed. As you have heard from the audience, there is some issues that they would like to work with you on, and I would like for that to continue. And so with that, favorable report. Okay. Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill receives a favorable report.
Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me, sir.
And I'll say to you again, as I said to you earlier, that I'll look forward to working with, anyone on this so we can get this issue as situated as good as it needs to be. And of course, protect our young people.
Yes, sir.
So I'm open. I just want everybody to know that I'm open with that.
And I hope everybody understands that the senator is very serious about this. He is willing to work with people, and we've had a couple of people today that have asked questions, and he is willing to sit down with you and continue to keep this alive. Without any further, the next bill, please.
SB 268 by Senator Singleton.
Senator?
Mr. Chairman, this is one of the most controversial bills that's been walking around here for about last 3 or 4 years. This bill deals with mixed spirit beverages. I want to thank all of the parties, Mr. Chairman, for coming together, for those who have come together to work on this particular bill. I know that this is not 100% of all the people in the industry who are bought into this, but I think we've gotten further than we've ever gotten in looking at what we call a hybrid model here that would allow for some of the traditional franchise language to be there, but still allow those others to be able to sell without being harmed. And so this is about the mixed spirit of alcohols right now being distributed by ABC, and this bill will basically try to help get a distribution to get it out into our stores across the state of Alabama. We were looking at an APV value of more than 7%, and I think that there's been a compromise with ABC to deal with a 7% alcohol by volume. This bill will also give wine wholesalers license at a fee to be able to distribute. It would give beer wholesalers the right at a licensing fee to be able to distribute it. And so with that, I understand that we have a substitute here that was just given to some of us here today. And with that, we can just open it up and allow whomever you'd like to speak on that. And I do know that the substitute dealt with some pieces of the code where mixed spirit was not mentioned in it, and they brought that in. But I do understand that it has some other further implications that we would love to hear from ABC and others about.
Okay, thank you, Senator. What I'd like to do is let's go ahead and we'll do the public hearing first, and then when we complete that, Mr. Stewart, I'd call on you, if you would, once we complete the public hearing. Thank you. Lindsay. You'll have 2.5 minutes, excuse me.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
could I, maybe it's my ignorance, could I ask a simple question before we get started with this? What's the difference between the RTDs that we're talking about here and the hemp easy in the previous bill?
We're talking about alcohol versus hemp
So the only
in terms of the product.
and the product is simply the source
Yes.
of the material used, I guess, whatever, that causes the effects.
But one is just alcohol. It's almost like having a mixed drink in a can.
Yeah, mixed
Have your
drink.
rum and Coke in a can
And
versus having hemp.
but if you have an easy drink, it's still a drink that has
Yes.
an effect.
Yes,
It's
both of them have an effect.
One's alcohol,
Just
and
like a
one-
beer,
Okay, all
a
right.
wine. Yes.
Mr. Chairman. Mr.
Yeah, we currently regulate spirits, but we don't regulate hemp.
The hemp, right.
All right.
Well, we
I
regulate
guess
growing hemp, but we don't regulate.
Well, yeah. I guess my question is, why, if we're, is there some way we could look at these in similar fashion? I mean,
No,
if they're having the same
that's,
effect?
can I, when you get through, I'll answer
No,
that.
I'm
I'm gonna try to answer your question. You know what I'm.
Go ahead,
is,
Senator.
is that in the hemp industry, there's only one. If I had to say, here's 10 things. It's just 1 out of the 10 deals with beverages. So you can't put it over there with him, the whole industry. You can take the beverage in that industry and put it, like what you're saying, what he's saying. But the hemp is a variety of products, and they're not beverages, so they wouldn't fit on the ABC. But that liquid part, what he was, the first gentleman talking about, would. But the other part wouldn't. That's why you have a division. And we're trying to get, regulations.
Thank you for the clarification.
Andrew Versiglio.
He's back.
It's me again.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having us again. And Leader Singleton, I was at the AGA convention when you stood up and told us all you were going to work so hard to get this passed for us, and we appreciate all the hard work that you've done. And I came to you all a minute ago to speak on the hemp side of things from Piggly Wiggly in our 13 stores. But this time I represent a much larger group. I represent all 1,000 grocery stores across the state with 188,000 employees and over 500,000 customers a day. And while we all differ in maybe our sales strategy, our demographic, our locations, and our brands, our store names, we're all in agreement that we're in favor of this bill and our ability to sell this product in our stores. Customers are continuing to come in and ask for the product and not quite understanding why we can sell a truly malt liquor in our stores, but not a truly vodka, okay? Just as we talked about a second ago, we are responsible vendors under all ABC guidelines. We are compliant with anything that comes through ABC. I think we've shown that over years and years and years. We have ABC agents in all of our stores consistently, and we have plenty of undercovers that come through that we'll never know about because we are operating under a responsible license. We will continue to do so with this product, and if there's any concern with the ABV as a part of it, we currently sell beer at a 13.9% ABV, and we sell wine at a 24% ABV. So we feel confident that we can continue to responsibly sell this product at 7%. And let me, say this as well. We're in favor of selling this product. We have a lot of business partners and distributors that are continuing to figure out their side of things. We know they'll be good partners to us for years to come. Whatever way it falls, we want to be able to sell the product and have our customers that we take a lot of pride in getting their product to them in our stores available at all times. So I appreciate all of your time and I appreciate all of your hard work.
Hang on a minute. Yes, sir, Senator. Go ahead with the question.
I've thought about the first time you came, but this time I want to give you a kudos because you say you were Piggly Wiggly.
Yes, sir.
And I'm here to tell you, I shop at the one in West End.
Okay.
And look, when we had the crisis, I want to tell everybody, when you had the food crisis, and I won't call some of my other places, but they were limited and not having meats and food and charging out the roof. Piggly Wiggly, they never ran out. Never. For you folks who couldn't find meat and stuff, I ate good during that period. I want y'all to know that. So I just wanted to say that to you. And I know I shouldn't say that, Senator Singleton, but and Stewart, but I'm gonna say it. And I'm talking about Piggly Wiggly I shop at. It's deep in the hood. Mm-hmm. Y'all got that stuff in the hood. Yeah. You brought it up in there. So I want to just tell you that I appreciate y'all.
Well, look, I appreciate that, and we're blessed with great customers and being in great communities with great personnel. So we've been there for years and years and years. We pride ourselves in being neighborhood stores. So that means the world to us to hear that from you. We appreciate you.
Senator Stewart.
Senator Smitherman, I just want to share that the sides are very delicious at the Piggly Wiggly in Birmingham. The one on Highland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's music to my ears. We can keep going like this.
Senator, go.
Yeah, you say y'all have how many stores in Birmingham area?
12 in Jefferson County, one from our group in Shelby County. That's the Donovan Valley location.
Well, I'm from down on the Gulf Coast in Mobile County, and there's some Piggly Wigglies down in that area.
Kamal
Kudos.
Constantine is the owner of those
Yeah,
stores.
y'all do a great job over there too.
Thank you.
But my question is the way current law sits, does the Piggly Wiggly right now, I'm going to give you for instance, Greer's is in my community, in my district, and Greer's has adjacent package stores with a separate door. Does Piggly Wiggly have any of those that are adjacent to their stores? So right now, Piggly Wiggly's not selling the other spirits beside their store in a separate small building or adjacent building.
I can speak confidently for our 13 stores that we are not.
None.
Not all Piggly Wigglies are cookie cutter stores. You know, we are independently owned and operated under a franchise tag. So I can't sit here and tell you that every single one across the state of Alabama does not. But I'm confident that our 13 do not, and the ones in Mobile do not either. But I would be surprised if, you know, many of them do, if any, you know, so.
Yeah, but that is an option. Just wanted to
Yeah,
point that
understand.
out. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Lamar Daniels.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Lamar Daniels with Premium Beverage out of Opelika, Alabama. We're a small family-owned beer and wine distributor that's been operating for 55, 56 years and very proud. And I will tell you this personally, I lived in Tuscaloosa for 20 plus years as well, so I've been on both sides of the state. So nothing I'm saying today is leaning one way or the other. I haven't seen the new amendment to this bill, but one of the questions I would ask is the original piece did not have franchise agreement in it. As far as franchise agreement, the way it's set up now with a three-tier system, the beer and wine distributors, we have a supplier, we distribute to the customer. I won't paint with a broad brush here, but we're in favor of this bill. We think this is a tremendous opportunity for the state from a tax standpoint, from a purchase standpoint, from a consumer standpoint. But for 42 years, the franchise system has been used to deliver beer, DSD, direct store delivery. And in this first draft of the bill, there was no franchise mentioned. So franchise was put in place to kind of protect from being overrun or bullied by a supplier and having one dominant entity into the business. So that was the only question I had, is the franchise piece.
Thank you very much for coming today. Any questions? Thank you again.
Wynn Prescott.
Back. Thank you once again. And for those of you who don't remember, I'm with the Petroleum and Convenience Marketers Association of Marketers of Alabama, and I also work employed by a company where we company out and run over 100 convenience stores in the state of Mississippi and in large part in Alabama as well. And to kind of go back to, you kind of had a question, I believe, earlier about what's the difference between like the hemp and all, which what we're talking about today, I think, is I can paint an easy picture. So for those of us that are football fans, if you go to Jordan-Hare Stadium or Bryant-Denny Stadium on a Saturday, and you were going in there, you can buy a high noon beverage or a Truly or a White Claw. You can buy it in Bryant-Denny. But if you were to go to a convenience store in the state of Alabama or a grocery store like Piggly Wiggly, you can buy a Truly and a White Claw, but you cannot buy a high noon because it is distilled from a potato, which is considered vodka based. So that is the ready-to-drink bill that we're addressing here. This bill, which we're in favor of, allows us to sell it in these retail stores, what we're talking about. Again, you're talking about over 3.6 million transactions a day that goes through the state of Alabama. Nearly 4,000 convenience stores are in Alabama, right? So somebody asked earlier about if you have, asking about the grocery store, if they had a liquor store that was connected, right? We'll see the problem that we see today, even if you do, which a lot of them are landlocked, even for convenience stores. We can't build those liquor stores adjacent because of the property. But even if we could, or if they are, and there's, if a parent in the convenience store has their kids with them and they want to buy alcohol, they can. But if they want to buy like a ready-to-drink beverage that doesn't meet that content, they have to walk across into that other store, and they can't take their kids. So there's a lot of limitations, and I just want to say we are highly in favor of this bill, and we're thankful because the three main divisions of this have came together after 4 years of debating it, and we're so thankful that people have unified and are supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I cannot read the last name. First name Wade.
Glad to have you here today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members for allowing me a few minutes this afternoon, and I'll be brief. My name is Wade Weaver. I work for Adams Beverages, and I reside in Decatur, Alabama. I'd like to begin by saying that we're not opposed to the sale of these RTD products. We oppose the bill as written because it lacks franchise protection for distributors. Franchise laws are also known as fair dealing laws that govern the relationship between alcohol manufacturers and their distributors. These laws prohibit alcohol manufacturers from interfering with the distributor's efforts to sell another manufacturer's products by limiting by the manufacturer's ability to terminate a distributor for reasons other than performance. In the beverage business outside of the alcoholic beverage space, when small brands threaten market share of the large manufacturers buy these brands and then move those products to their distributors and reimburse the distributor that's losing the brand far less than market value for these products. Distributors invest time, money, and sweat equity to grow brands they represent, and these investments should never be at risk of arbitrary termination. These franchise laws are codified for malt-based and wine-based products in Title 28 of the Code of Alabama. And for 42 years, these laws that are codified in the code have worked very well for consumers, retailers, wholesalers, and the ABC Board. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today.
Neil Morrison.
I really wasn't planning on saying anything, but I was going to make sure our folks got to be heard. But real quick, if you don't mind, Neil Morrison, I'm here talking on behalf of the people of the state of Alabama that want the opportunity. Y'all been debating this back when I had hair. That's how many years it's been. But on a serious tone, if you live especially close to the state lines, your constituents are driving every day across the state line to purchase these products. The state of Alabama is losing millions of dollars every year. When I was a young man from Coleman, we would drive all the way across the Tennessee state line and buy the quart-sized beer because we couldn't sell them in Alabama. So folks are going to go and purchase these when they can because they want them. Whether we like it or not, our state is changing rapidly, especially in the Huntsville area. We're having people from all over the world that are moving in, and they're asking me every time they see me, Neil, why can I not buy this at the local grocery store, at the convenience store? As was mentioned earlier, convenience stores in the state of Alabama, y'all see literally thousands of your constituents every day. And they're asking, why can I not pick this item up? So I'm here today and want to thank Senator Singleton for doing this. I think it's long overdue. It's something that we need to put in place and make sure that it's regulated properly. We are selling these responsibly in the stores today. I want to thank ABC. They have spent a lot of time helping us work through this process. And Senator, to let you know the difference, one of them is grass in a glass. The other one is just a little alcohol. And there's a little difference here, but I'll talk to you later about it. But I do appreciate the time. I know there's some other people I want to talk to, and I appreciate everything that y'all do for us every day. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being here today.
Brandon Owens.
Well, it's the fourth year I've been up here. I'm Brandon Owens. I represent the package stores in the state as well as bars and restaurants. Probably going to say a lot of the stuff I've said in the past, but just bear with me if you have a few new things to bring up. I want to talk about our businesses are mostly small, or all small businesses. Everybody in my organization is a small business. We'll be irreparably harmed by this bill if it passes. 77% of these products that come through the state of Alabama right now come through small businesses, through our stores, through our restaurants, through our bars, and these are all small businesses that benefit from this. Since then, we've been able to increase benefits, increase pay to our our employees, and it's been great. It's been really helpful during this time of inflation and insurance costs going up and all that good stuff, or bad stuff. Now, one thing that nobody has talked about is we hire a lot of people, and we are going to have to cut back on our jobs. Nobody's talked about how these grocery stores or these convenience stores are going to have to add employees if this bill was to go through. Pretty sure they're not going to be able to be doing that. They're just going to be able to use their current employees like that. Their shelf space is not going to increase because of this. It's going to stay the same, and simply all that's going to happen is some of the beer is going to be replaced by RTDs, or as we call it, liquor in a can, which is what it is. I did want to correct one thing. These are not available in every state that surrounds us. It is not available in Georgia and Tennessee, and that is because the package stores there have seen the benefit of it and have fought with it just as much as we have. I'm in communication with Tennessee and Georgia's stores at the same time, and they have the same concerns we do about how this product would hurt their sales. Another issue we're going to have is products will not be available as they are now. The ABC has been great working with us and bringing this product to us. It's taken a little time, but we have a great system working out now, and there's over 900 locations where people can buy this for off-premise consumption. And also, our bars are able to get it as well. If this goes into effect, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a scarce product, and it's going to be hard to find it. And I see Lindsay's lowering her microphone, so I'm going to conclude after that. But please think about the small businesses whenever you are thinking about voting on this bill. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jimmy Marston.
Mr. Chairman, Senators, thank you for the work you do for the state of Alabama. My name is Jimmy Marston. I work with Gulf Distributing Company. Gulf's a beverage distributor. We have 5 state-of-the-art warehouses across the state of Alabama. We employ over 1,000 employees in the state. I'm proud to work at Gulf. I started working at nighttime as a young man, and I've been there for 4 decades now. I've worked just about every job in the company. I live in Theodore, Alabama with my wife, Kaylee. My daughter, Chandler, is working now in our company. She's been there for a little over 8 years and is a senior manager of operation. Our distributors are mostly family-owned businesses throughout the state. We do everything we can to protect that. It's very important that we are able to distribute alcohol throughout the state in a safe manner. We collect over tens of millions of dollars in taxes collectively with my cohorts in the room here. We have a privilege license. We take great pride in that. These licenses are granted, okay? So just keep that in mind. I'm here today to show support for the SB 268 bill. This has gone on for 5 years plus. It's clear that there's been a lot of work, and I commend you guys for that. I also would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for Mr. Stewart and ABC and the Grocery Association. We know that we're in the room because of the franchise language in the bill, and we've compromised. And, you know, I don't do a lot of politics. Matter of fact, it's my first time to speak here. But you have to compromise to get things moving forward sometimes, and that's where we are. We think that fair market value for these brands is suitable, and it's what's been agreed upon, and we want to move forward in moving this legislation forward. I really appreciate your time today, and thank you for letting me speak to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Last, we got
Virginia Bannister.
Miss Virginia.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the Senate Tourism Committee. I'm here on behalf of the Alabama Beverage Association, whose members include Buffalo Rock, Coca-Cola United, and all of the other smaller, independent, family-owned Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Keurig bottlers in the state of Alabama. The Alabama Beverage Association and our member companies support SB 268, sponsored by Senator Singleton. It would allow our customers, the grocers and the convenience stores, to sell these mixed spirit beverages outside of ABC, and that's very important to us. You will recall that our industry has been and continues to oppose versions of this bill, which contains franchise language, which would restrict our company's ability to sell these products now or in the future. However, this bill contains compromise language that would still allow us to openly distribute this new category of products. We have worked very, very hard on this compromise. While we are in support of this bill, we did just receive that substitute draft this morning, and while most of the changes seem to be technical in nature, and they're reasonable at first glance, we would ask for some more time just to take a little deeper dive into some of them. I think there's a new section, and we have a few more questions. But I would ask that we all continue the discussion on SB 268 and move forward with it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. That concludes as far as our public hearing at this time, and I know everybody's had a long day regardless of where you're sitting, but I'd like to, Mr. Stewart, if you'd come forward and talk to us on ABC a little bit. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Senator Price, and thanks to all the members of the committee. I guess that comment you just made meant be brief, and I'll try to do that. And I just want to make a couple of comments about what this bill would do as far as we're concerned and what it does as far as the concerns we had about the bill. I'm not here advocating for passing or against passing. At this point, I'm neutral on the bill the way it's written, which is a change from the last couple of years where I had some real problems with it. The first of those problems was the ABV that would be allowed in the wider distribution, which was north of 10% in various bills that we saw. At this point, it is at 7%, which is the amount the ABC had requested, which is a little higher than about 90% of the products that are in this category, over 90%. So most of the products are in the 4.5%, 5% range. So that does address the concern that we had about that. We also had some questions about how many more licensees there would be, how much more work we'd have to do to follow up on those locations. This bill does give us some additional resources to do that with, so that has been addressed as well. Some of the things that we had asked for that are in the substitute, as far as we can tell, because we just got it mid-morning today as well, the actual substitute. But there are several new sections put in the bill that weren't in the original bill because these sections license people who already can sell alcohol, such as the private package stores, the bars, and the restaurants. As written originally, it would have required them to get a new license and pay for it, while they can already sell these same products we're talking about. So by putting just a new phrase, and mixed spirit beverages on the end of beer and wine, in their current license, it allows them to automatically qualify for these products. So yes, that does take a few extra pages in this bill, but that's something that makes it a lot easier for that group of people to go ahead and qualify and start selling those things. And it makes it easier for the ABC board because we don't have to license them in a whole new category. They're already selling spirits anyway. So that's a good thing as far as we're concerned. The bill at first had a little bit of an ambiguity about whether we could sell them in our stores, we, the ABC board, in the state's ABC stores, just at retail. There was language that was some holdover language inadvertently left in that said we still had to buy them from one of these private wholesalers, which is not what we had intended to do, not what we had agreed. So that's one of the things taken out in the substitute. So that's been addressed as well. And it will only then, once we go forward, allow ABC to sell these products at retail in our own stores. We will no longer have any wholesale sales to those bars and restaurants, which they will be serviced by the private market. The third question that we had in the past about the amount of tax levied on these things, I'll just say this. We sold in the last 12 months, actually 12 months from March of 24 through February of 25, 284,000 cases of these things, and we did a calculation of the amount of tax that raised at our effective tax rate, which is 98 cents. The effective tax rate in this bill is 35 cents. So there would have to be more volume sold to get that same tax. I'm not qualified to tell you how many of these products would be sold, just that the tax rate has been reduced essentially to a third of what it was. And so I'll let other people address that. And there were some questions that I just jotted down while I was sitting here. I think someone answered the question about what you can do in other states, what you can do in liquor stores. Of course, you can't take kids in a liquor store. That's the whole point. It's an over 21 age store. So you can't take kids in there. That's by design, because the whole point is that you know you're going into that store to get liquor. You're not going in there to get a pack of chewing gum, whatever. And let's see, malt liquor versus vodka. Yeah, there's a difference between these products made with beer or wine-based or malt-based, as opposed to spirits-based. Quite frankly, spirit-based products are a lot better. There's a lot more versatility with spirits. You can do a lot more with them. But keeping these below the 7%, which makes them approximately the same as the beer that's widely distributed. The vast majority of beer is in that 4.5%, 5% range. The vast majority of these current products that we're talking about under 7 is in that 4.5%, 5% range. So this does keep them kind of on a level playing field with beer. So in that respect, they have addressed the concerns that we had about this bill in the past couple of years that I've been involved with it.
Any questions? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Curtis, for being here.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the majority of these spirit-based being in that 4 to 5 and being below the 7. How many, if you have a number on it, how many of the spirit-based products are above the 7%?
I don't have a number on it. I could get one on it for you. There are products ranging in alcohol by volume all the way up the spectrum. There are products in the 10% range, products in the 12, 20% range. You can mix these things at whatever strength you want to give them. And our concern was that kids drinking some of these things that you don't even know, you can't even taste the liquor in some of these things, even if they're north of 10% or even 20% alcohol. So that if they buy them in a convenience store or grocery store, they ought to at least be able to expect that there's a reasonably low level of alcohol in them, comparable to a widely consumed beer. So I can get you, and I will send you some numbers on how much we sell that's higher than 7%. But there are mixed beverages all the way up into the 20, 30% alcohol range. Some are made that way, of course. 40% alcohol is what we call 80 proof liquor. But there are mixtures all the way down the chain. Somebody said, use the phrase cocktails in a can. Yeah, there are cocktails in a can that are available for sale, but unless they're under 7% ABV, they wouldn't be covered by this.
And you said y'all handled how many cases last year through ABC?
284,000 cases of these products under this 7%.
Sounds like there were a lot sold in Alabama, even though they weren't on grocery store shelves.
Well, they were sold through the private liquor stores, and they were sold in the bars and the restaurants through our normal places you can get an alcohol drink.
But do you feel like this particular piece of legislation, where we're reducing the tax rate, are we going to sell enough to make that difference up?
Well, that's the question I pose, because I have no idea what people are going to do in terms of drinking.
I mean, if we're going to change it, wouldn't it be better to at least leave the tax rate where it is and not mess with the tax rate whatsoever? And
well, as one of the members of this committee said to me, a good friend of mine, I'll leave the policy decisions to you people, because he said, let me leave the policy to them. And so I'll do that. As far as whether it'll make the triple sales to generate enough, I don't know.
Hang on 1 minute.
Yes.
Go ahead, Senator.
In that same line of thinking, but if you add in C stores, you would say that you have more stores by volume that can sell it to be able to meet the tax rate.
Oh, there'd be probably 5,000 or more additional outlets where these things would be sold.
And right now, you're in what, about 700?
Well, there are 911 as of Friday last week, private package stores licensed in Alabama.
So that,
plus they're available in our liquor stores too, our ABC stores.
So that tells us that by volume we could go up in revenue also, because by volume we could sell them in more.
That's certainly possible, but you know, behavior is dynamic. So you might lose some beer sales, you might lose some spirit sales. I don't know. I'm not able to address what people are going to do after this change.
Yeah, because we've been bringing on, you know, I can remember we had Falstaff, Miller's, Sterling, Big Mouth, and Coke 45s.
You're too young for Coke 45.
I'm 63 years old. Okay, so I've seen it evolve, and all of our revenue has done in the state is go up. That's all I've seen. Our revenue in the state and ABC is go up. And I know the 20 years that I've been here, it has only gone up. The more we bring in by volume, we've never seen a decrease in our revenues. But we steadily get more stuff on our shelves. Thank you.
Well, we've done a great job. We try to do a great job keeping the shelves full.
Well,
at ABC.
thank you. But all I'm saying, but just something else on the volume doesn't balance one off for the others where you're going to lose income. That's all I'm trying to get to that point.
And I'll take that point, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Mr. Stewart, for being here today. We appreciate it very much. Do you have any closing comments?
I want to thank all of the parties who participated, everybody who came here to testify today. And I want to thank Senator Livingston for starting this process. And I want to thank us. You know, I just tried to keep it alive, want us to continue to have these conversations because it is being asked for by the consumers out there to get it ready, more available to the consumers. And I think that, you know, we want to do it in the safest and more responsible way in terms of under our control system to make sure that we do it responsibly, but allow the public to be able to have that product. I don't think that this product is a sin product no more than the other ones. And I think that it's about time for us to move this product out. And hopefully the next time we meet, Mr. Chairman, that we have an up or down vote on this particular bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's not any other comments, thank you for your patience today, and we're adjourned.
Please take your substitute with you so you can read it, so you can't say you didn't have it.
Just hold off on the shots. I said, what? She said, I said, put on this other stuff. So I'm gonna get you on it. Hopefully this will take care of the information and all that. She said, the shots. She said, that's fine. So, yeah. My wife is about to bring in a shot. So I said, all right. So I got some names that got picked up on the way home.
Excuse me? I'm so sorry. Can I ask you, do you happen to have a name of the public speakers? I'm with the Alabama Daily News. I was just looking for the spelling.
Okay.
Yeah. 729? Thank you so much.
How do you feel about the game? Okay, how's it going? I don't know.
That's where we're going, right? You're going? I'm going.
Next Tuesday at 35.
All ones that drive, security. I think if he has some things to say, Brett said loud enough for people to hear. So, we gotta get hot. Right. If we don't, speaking of first time saying stuff. So we go through the whole thing, he comes up here, and looks right at me, speaks. I'll be in Texas, no problem. I guess we're representing the way around the Tuesday cloud anyway, so might as well get on. Like include everybody. Good to see y'all. Thank you for being here. He goes. He started looking crazy. I was going to see what reaction he gets. The spirit. He's gone. I said, I need money all the time. Yeah, from the front door.